Tonight, see how students are banding together to make Troy a safer campus.
Plus, we take a closer look at how many students chose to commemorate a special day in civil rights history. Stay tuned. Troy TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
Definition Digital Production Center on the Troy campus with news from Troy University locations around the world. This is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for November 13th, 2013. I'm Courtney Addison.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thanks for joining us this evening. Well, last night, Troy students and faculty examined lighting on campus. Courtney Chandler explains why.
Meeting, members got out and did some night walking around campus.
Well, the night walk is held normally every semester, and so we get the Senate to come out and take different. This year we split it up into zones, and so each senator went to a different zone to concentrate on what campus safety issues there were in that zone, like lights, sidewalks, just anything and everything you could think of. We focused on that.
Members found some key zones during the walk that they think should have better safety for students on campus.
On the parking lot between the track field and also the Trojan Center needs some more lighting. It's a little dark close to the area, and also some blue lights throughout campus, so some students, especially girls, can feel more safe when walking during the night.
We thought that there might need to be just a normal lamppost light near Malone because it is kind of darker over there. We also thought there might need to be another light or blue light in the parking lot kind of between the track field and TC, but a lot of the students went around on the quad and around different dorms, noticing out different things like that too.
So when can we expect to see another night walk on campus?
We'll have another night walk next semester, so just be on the lookout for that one.
Courtney Chandler, Troy TrojanVision News.
And again, like Courtney mentioned, right now there's another night walk scheduled for next semester. If students have any tips or safety concerns they'd like to share with the Student Government Association before next semester, they can bring them to its meeting Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. in the Trojan Center.
And Monday was Veterans Day, and many people took time out of their day to give a special thanks to those who have served. However, last night, Troy University chose to give back to veterans in the Troy community in a very special way. The John M. Long School of Music and the Troy Symphony Band presented a salute to the nation's veterans through music. The Symphony Band performed a number of patriotic pieces in honor of those who have served in our armed forces. And Tuesday's concert wasn't the only Veterans-themed performance by the School of Music. The Sound of the South performed in the Veterans Day Parade in Montgomery on Monday. And most everyone knows this in the nation's civil rights movement. However, most of us are too young to actually remember what many Alabamians experienced firsthand.
That's right, Courtney. And last night, a piece of civil rights history was put on display on the Trojan Center stage as a crucial document to the movement that acted out, a movement for the entire nation. Haley Greathouse has the story.
Tuesday night, the Trojan Center Theater was filled with students as the Red Mountain Theater Company and several Troy University faculty members presented Letter from the Birmingham Jail, an adaptation of one of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s real letters sent while he was in jail.
Tonight's performance was about me responding to the 8 clergymen who wrote the letter, and it was just Dr. King's way of saying everything is not okay like you think it is. There can be a lot more can be done, and we are trying to do everything that we can non-violently.
The opportunity to see that moment in history in 1963 when there are these two very divergent opinions about how we are going to get past segregation and on to integration.
Troy was the 10th stop on the production's tour, and when asked what has impacted them the most on the tour, the cast gave a surprising response.
One of the members in the audience she was there with Dr. King in the jail, and I could hear them crying in the audience.
Those people who were in the audience who were part of this movement, it's a tough memory for some of them. They remember the water hoses and the dogs. It's a deep emotional hurt that is brought back to them.
After the production was a question and answer session. The cast spoke on many things, but hoped the students took away the true message of the performance.
We would like for students, young people, to understand that the way things are today isn't the norm. People had to fight for this. Some people died because of this.
My hope is that they will know that we've come a long way, but we're really not where we need to be. The people who remain silent and they actually have power to do something, I would hope that they know now that they can do something.
Haley Greathouse, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And again, this is the 50th anniversary of the writing of the letter from the Birmingham jail.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Daphne, a man posing as a police officer robbed a motorist at gunpoint. Investigators say the victim was driving on Interstate 10 early Monday morning when he noticed a car with flashing blue lights was following him.
In Stevenson, the city is asking a judge to make a man remove his wife's body from a grave in his front yard. A hearing was set for this afternoon. The city wants the judge to enforce her order requiring that 74-year-old James Davis exhume the body of his wife, Patsy Davis, who was buried outside their log home.
And in Birmingham, police say a set of human remains that were found last year have been identified as a homicide victim who was reported missing. Police have identified the set of remains that were recovered from a wooded area on June 26, 2012 as 24-year-old David Robinson. Authorities say the man had been shot and was reported missing in April of 2012.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan football team is preparing for their final non-conference game of the season. Danielle Percival will have the details on that game coming up in sports. Now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports. So Danielle, the Trojan football team is on the road and they're going to be playing a game this Saturday, and they're looking to get out of their little slump that they're in.
Well, that's right, Judson, but it's going to be against a tough opponent in Ole Miss. We've actually got to look at what the Trojans bring to the table as well as the Rebels right now here in sports.
Okay.
The Trojan football team is at 500 heading into the last two games of the season, and it's a tough 2 ones for the Trojans against teams that are currently 6-3. It's an eerily similar setup for the Trojans to the finish of a season ago at 500 with 2 games remaining and then 2 close, tough losses to end the year and just miss bowl eligibility in 2012. The Trojans are looking to avoid the heartbreak and missing a bowl game for the 3rd straight season. As quarterback Corey Robinson says, it doesn't matter if it's a split or a sweep of the next 2, but getting to 6 wins is the goal of this team.
We got 2 more games left, so we got to find that 6th win, whether it's this week or next week. You know, we're going to go out there and we're going to try to do our best. Obviously, man, we're going to do what we do on offense.
The Trojans will be taking on Ole Miss this Saturday in an early game at 11 a.m. in Oxford. So let's take a look at the Rebels in our weekly opponent update. The team is 6-3 overall this season with those 3 losses coming against teams that are currently in the top 12 in the BCS rankings, all SEC West opponents. Those losses came in consecutive weeks against Alabama, Auburn, and a last-second field goal gave Johnny Football and the Aggies of Texas A&M a victory against the Rebels. This past weekend, Ole Miss faced Arkansas and picked up a 34-24 victory to make them bowl eligible. The Rebels were up 13-10 and able to punch it in one more time before the half. And looking at this one, Bo Wallace drops back, fires it over the middle to a wide open Jameis Logan for a 75-yard touchdown. Just 3 minutes later, the Rebels would hit again for another long score, and this time it's the broken tackle that sends Dante Moncrief sprinting down the sidelines for the final Rebels touchdown of the game. The Trojans will get their shot at the Rebels in Oxford at Vaught Hemingway Stadium Saturday with kickoff at 11 a.m. The Trojan men's basketball team took on the Rebels to open their season last weekend and kept it close, but were unable to get a victory at Ole Miss. The football team's probably hoping that's not a sign of things to come for them. But for basketball, upon returning home, the Trojans lit up the scoreboard for 102 points against LaGrange College. The Trojans put up 59 points in the first half, and the defense was able to hold the Panthers to only 24% field goal shooting and only allowed 1 3-pointer. It was 59-27 at the break, but the second half was a different story. The Trojans scored 43, but if it was a game of 30 minutes, it would have been a close one for Troy as they allowed 42 points in the second half. Overall, it looked like the Trojans still ran away with the game, but head coach Phil Cunningham knows his team has to play consistent throughout the game.
Halftime, we talked about whatever you do, let's don't play to the score because we don't ever want to develop bad habits. And you know, we didn't do that. We came out and played to the score and gave up too many offensive rebounds. They got to cutting us up a little bit defensively, but it's a good win. It's always good to win.
The Trojans head back on the road for another tough contest against UAB on Thursday night. Tip-off in Birmingham will be at 7 p.m. The women's team also was able to put up impressive numbers on Monday night, but it was a late defensive push that helped them seal the deal. The women's team took on Florida A&M in a game that was close from the start. The teams were tied at the half and tied as late as 5 minutes to go in the game. The Trojans then pulled away and used a 20-4 run in the final minutes to seal the deal and win 100-88. Another stat that proved to be huge was the fact that Troy shot 92% from the free throw line in the second half, banking 12 of 13. For head coach Shanda Rigby, she knows winning a close game like Monday's contest can be beneficial for the team.
And it's huge. I think our confidence just swayed a lot right there to the positive, and that's what you need. If you're shooters, you've got to have confidence, and that's what we are. We're run and shoot, and so confidence is everything to us. And being 2-0 and the way we won that game right there, that's bigger than the Beatles.
The only thing better than 2-0 is 3-0, and the Trojans' chance to remain undefeated comes Friday with a midday game in Trojan Arena. The Trojans will take on Tennessee State on noon at Friday. So Judson, Courtney, just heard the opportunity for Trojan fans to get out and support the women's basketball team comes on Friday. It's a midday game, but it's a Friday, so maybe there'll still be some people on campus. Not everybody head over to the football game just yet and be able to come out there and support the Trojans and possibly help them get to 3-0.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Dan. Sounds like a lot's going on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Judson. Thanks.